How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Will, what up, Will?
What up, what up?
Welcome, everybody, to another week of Story of the Fight. My name's Ramiro, that's my boy, Will, and we cover all things mixed martial arts and life and anything that might come into our heads. And it just so happens, though, that this weekend we had multiple events to cover.
Yeah, these are my favorite weekends. You know, when they do the fight night card for ONE FC and then a UFC pay-per-view, that's like, what more could you ask for, you know?
I know, right? I know. It was awesome, action-packed all weekend long. Before we get going, just got to say, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, goes a long way. If you don't like watching, but you like listening, you can find us pretty much everywhere else podcasts are found. And if you're wondering, what would those places be? Where can they find it, Will?
Yeah, just go to storyofthefight.com. It'll have all of our social media there. You could also just, anywhere you look, it's Story of the Fight. So Reddit, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, it's Story of the Fight. Makes it super easy. Spotify, YouTube, you know, Apple Podcasts, everywhere.
Like I've been saying it, if you can't find it, you're just not trying hard enough. Literally, Story of the Fight everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's like the most.
Get with it.
Thing. Yeah,
get with it. But okay, hey, let's start talking
like the rest of those 2,500 people.
They figured it out.
By
the way, we're trying to reach 3,000 subscribers, by the way, so help us out.
Yeah, we're at like 25,
tell
35.
Your sisters, tell your brothers, tell your friends, anybody. Yeah. If you even hear them talking about MMA a little bit, be like, you know what? Talk MMA with these guys. Join them live. Chat it up. Why not? Chat it up. Now let's chat it up about the transition. Are we going to start with the UFC 289? I forgot to ask you that.
Yeah. Let's go UFC 289 first. So
right,
what we'll do
UFC.
Yeah, so we'll do UFC 289. If you're watching this live and you're here for the one championship fights, we'll be covering that after we cover a few fights from the UFC. If you're coming and watching this not live, we'll have timestamps. So if you want to skip right to one championship,
yeah,
it'll be in the description.
So
shout out Blunder
UFC. I only want to listen about one. They can just click on one little thing. By the way, hey, ONE FC, come on, like let's figure that part out. Let's get timestamps on fights. You know, maybe let's just do separate breakouts for different fights on Prime. Yeah, let's make it a little bit easier to go back and watch a couple different ones. You know what I mean? Why not? All right, so let's start talking UFC 289. We had Amanda Nunes versus Irene Aldana. And you know what? Going into this, Will, your boy was pretty excited. Because I was like, you know what? We've seen what could happen with Nunes and Juliana Pena. You know, Pena won the first one. Nunes won the second one, which I thought was in pretty dominant fashion.
Yes,
so I said,
pretty dominant.
So I was like, show me something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So show me something exciting. And then Irene Aldana comes in. Yeah. And the thing that Nunes has shown in the past, like when the first fight with Pena, is that she's so good. And she thought, hey, you know what? Any way you bring the game to me, I could do better. And then
she's like, a jab?
What is that?
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, Pena was able to get the best of her that fight.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe she does the same with Irene Aldana. Irene coming in really good with her boxing, comes with the classic high guard. You know what I mean? Great boxing. And then I think that somebody forgot to tell Irene Aldana that it's mixed martial arts. Somewhere along the line.
She might shoot for a takedown.
Yeah, she might shoot for a takedown. She might throw an elbow. She might kick the crap out of your legs. It's a possibility, Irene. So let's prepare for it.
Yeah, because this was supposed to be Nunes versus Pena 3, right? And then Pena withdrew.
The rubber match. To decide it all.
Yeah, the one that we definitely needed.
Absolutely.
So yeah, for me, it was like, okay, Aldana steps in. At least it's a fresh matchup. I'd like that more, you know? And everyone's like constantly talking about, oh, Nunes, is she like, because she got beat, it was kind of like an embarrassing loss, right? The way she lost to Pena. Because it wasn't like, there's a lot of similarities between Nunes and like Shevchenko, right? Super dominant, like female fighters. And Grasso just took out Shevchenko, but Grasso beating Shevchenko is not the same as what Pena did to Nunes, right? Yeah. Like there's no shame in the way Valentina lost her belt. Whereas Pena versus Nunes, it like, you could tell she's not really on her level. She won, but you get the rematch and you're like, oh yeah, that's more like accurate. If they fought 10 times, most of those fights would go like the second fight, probably not like the first fight.
But let's not forget your boy here
Yeah,
predicted Pena, and then let's not forget your boy here predicted Nunes beating Pena again, and then Nunes retiring, and Pena going back and getting that belt. So far, it's coming to fruition. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
That'll probably happen, honestly.
It probably will.
So yeah, so going into this fight, it's like a lot of questions were like, okay, Nunes probably lost that first Pena fight because like she probably didn't take her seriously, didn't train very hard, all that type of stuff. She had COVID, all, blah blah blah. But going into this, it's like, how seriously is she taking this? You know, Aldana technically didn't like earn a title shot, like, you know what I mean, because she filled in as a replacement fighter. So maybe Nunes is going to come in here and not take it seriously. But what people didn't realize was that she was banking off retiring with 2 belts after this fight. So she took it very seriously. And that showed, you know, because outside of getting punched, I think, can we go back one picture, Rich? So this was in the first round where Nunes got a little careless throwing those bombs, and Aldana in the fire hits her with that right hook, that short right hook, and it was a solid shot. And that was the only solid strike she landed for the entire fight. That's all she had.
Rough, man.
And this is no knock on Aldana. For me, it's just, I think Nunes
you know
was
what?
like,
knock Aldana, dude.
Whoa.
Knock Aldana. Dude, you know how frustrated I am right now? Bro, okay, so going into this, I'm like, 4 Mexican champions coming out of this. Let's do it.
You really
She's gonna
think,
come in with some... No, hold on, dude. Come in with some crisp boxing. She's going to be able to, put in work, okay? Maybe she'll be able to use her footwork to avoid some of Nunes' bombs that she throws straight from Brazil or Miami now, wherever she lives. But I thought, she'll be able to mix it up with her a little bit. I did not expect Aldana to look like a deer in headlights the entire fight. I think she felt a couple of those first shots and was like, whoa, this is a little bit different from what I felt in the past. Now, you're saying Aldana didn't really earn the title shot. And I was going to say, let's slow down, Will, because she did earn it. But then I'm looking at this. She beat Beige Correia.
Solid.
Okay. Loses to Raquel Pennington, Rocky. Beats Vanessa Melo. Beats Ketlen Vieira. Not bad. Ketlen Vieira's on the up and up, right?
Yep.
Loses to Holly Holm. Beats Yana Kunitskaya, formerly known as Kunitskaya, now Yana Santos. Beats Macy Chiasson. Okay? And
sick.
So in her opportunities to show up and really start separating herself from the rest of the group, because Rocky has fought for the belt. Holly Holm was a previous title holder. When she had an opportunity to really separate herself from the rest of the pack, she didn't.
She did not.
And so reviewing this again, you're right, Will. I wouldn't say she earned the title shot.
I mean, she was on a two-fight win streak.
Yeah. So you know what? My bad for coming in with extremely high expectations. Maybe I'm not so pissed off anymore. Your boy came in a little blind to this,
Yeah, but just like
Aldana. She rearranged her face. Look at her in this this picture. By the way, if you're only listening, you're not watching on YouTube. On YouTube, we actually show the pictures as we're talking, and there's a picture of Amanda Nunes landing this right hand right on Aldana's cheek, and at this point, her face is swollen. It doesn't even look like Irene Aldana anymore. She was teeing off on her, and I think I texted you last night. It's more exciting for me to watch Nunes hitting mitts.
Yeah, because at least they throw the hand back every once in a while.
Yeah, they throw the hand back, and you see the bob and weave that they work in. In this case, it was just Aldana with the high guard. And I got UFC 4 recently.
Oh, yeah.
And when I was trying to figure out the game, like I'd hit block and like I'd walk around holding a high guard back and forth. And then like I'd throw a kick to figure out what the button was, but it'd be really far away. I'm trying to figure it out. That was Irene Aldana last night.
Yeah.
Like there's a one point where she stood back and she threw like a hook to the body. I'm like, you're 10 feet away. What are you doing?
Yeah. For me, and shout out Regian saying he finally got the game. Now we just have to finally fight each other in it.
Yeah.
But
I gotta play it.
But man, it's like you said. I think she was shocked by the power. But imagine you get shocked by that power, and you're not just having to deal with the hands, because I want to give Nunes more credit than discredit Aldana in this one, because dude, I mean, she's throwing her patented bomb like this picture right here. You could say you could replace Aldana, and there's a picture like this for every single one of Nunes's fights. That's a patented Nunes punch right there. But not only was she landing those long ranging punches, but dude, the front kick to the body, the outside leg kicks, the John Jones oblique kick, the stamp kick to the front leg of Aldana. I think it was in like the second round where she literally stamped on her knee, and you could see Aldana widens her stance, and she's trying to figure out what her leg's doing. And I was like, man, that's nasty. And then she did it again. And I was like, oh my God. And then she lifted her leg like she was going to do it again. And then Aldana went to like kind of react to that. And then she just landed an overhand. And it's like, man, what do you do? And then as soon as Aldana might be like, all right, cool, I think I know what she's about to do, she just grabs her leg, dumps her, and then walks away. And then just continues to break she was doing everything. I mean, she was, like you said, Aldana forgot it was mixed martial arts. Nunes did not. Nunes was doing so many different things, so many different looks. Look at this front kick to the body, the kicks, and like the kicks to the lead leg, the elbows, the takedowns to just get right back up, and then, oh, actually no, I want this takedown. Let me just grind you out for a little bit, and as soon as you get back up, I'm just going to mat return you. I mean, just exhausting. Nunes knew she was going to retire in this fight and took it very seriously. She's like, I'm going to look the best I've ever looked in this fight. I'm going to retire on top, and then that's exactly what she did.
She looked fantastic, so impressive, man.
Yeah.
Very well rounded. She showed
not a very entertaining fight.
No, but not because of Nunes. Not because of Nunes. Nunes brought her a game.
Yeah.
Nunes brought her a game.
Yeah, there's one of those kicks at the lead leg. I mean, come on.
Dude, and she looked in fantastic shape. There have been times where Nunes comes in looking like your boy here, right? Not very fit. You don't know how seriously she took it. Especially if she's fighting at 145, and she still wins. But she looked to be in fantastic shape for this one, man. Her cardio was on point. At first, I thought, okay, maybe Irene is playing possum in the beginning, because there have been instances in Nunes gassing out a little bit.
I thought the same thing. After the second round, I was like, all right, cool. If that's the game plan, this is where Aldana needs to turn it up. Tosi, shout out Tosi, says Irene left her grappling in the hotel room. I mean, she didn't take it with her. Period. Yeah. It didn't fly with her. She left it way back somewhere, dude. It was bad. It was bad. Blunderbub says, this is why you guys are an invaluable service. I get caught up on the state of the UFC and its fighters without having to actually watch it.
Yeah. We try. We try sometimes, man.
Thank you, Blunderbub.
Thank you.
We do our best.
Yeah. And Regian says, Romero don't want the smoke. Regian, I want all the smoke. Okay, let's do this, dude. UFC 4
hasn't mentioned it to me once since getting the game.
Hey, dude. All right. You know what? I'm going to start playing again today. I'm going to put FIFA off to the side. I'm going to put Madden off to the side. Your boy's going to start training just like he did in Aldana. I'm start
Romero exclusively buys EA games. He only plays
in the game, dude. It's in the game. Dude, I'm just waiting for us to get a sponsor,
Yeah. So Nunes, obviously, she beats the brakes off Aldana for 5 rounds, and then she retires in the ring. One of the best retirements in UFC history, in my opinion. I mean, just a great retirement. They're usually so bad in MMA. I mean, she gets to put her belts down. DC's the one giving her the interview. Shouts out Strikeforce. You see her light up when he shouted out Strikeforce. She brings her daughter in the cage. She's running around with her daughter like she's a plane and shit. Like, it was awesome. It was just so wholesome, Great retirement.
It was, man. It was. Hey, maybe not the hottest take here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the hottest take. I could do without the fake tears.
What do you mean?
I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. I could do without the fake tears. But when somebody goes down and their entire body's moving like they're crying, they stand up, there's no tears. Those are fake tears. But outside of that, I'm super happy for Amanda Nunes. I was already cringing just thinking about the tweet that would go out.
Oh, I know, dude.
From Juliana Pena.
I think I said that waiting in that chat. I was like, man, Pena's about to be insufferable after this. Or I think I
man.
said it was even before she retired. Somebody called out that
You
she's
said if
probably
she
going to.
retires.
I was like, yeah, if Nunes retires tonight, Pena's going to be insufferable.
And sure enough, she tweeted and she said, "Man, I scared you that bad, huh?"
Yeah, she's like, I scared you. What did she say? I have it right here actually because
I think she
I
said, "I
thought it was
scared you
hilarious.
that bad."
I scared you so bad into retirement. Personally, congratulations. Professionally, what the fuck was that? Like, come on, Pena.
Yeah.
As
She's
the
done
top
her.
reply, the top reply to the tweet is just her getting fucking smoked by Nunes.
Yeah, she's done her thing, man. You know, she's
Yeah.
absolutely gone through the entire 135 division. She held together a 145-pound division.
Shout
You
out
know,
George.
she held multiple belts for a long period of time. She's the women's GOAT, man. She's one of the best to ever do it in MMA, period. Women's GOAT, hands down.
Yeah, women's GOAT. DC accidentally said, "To the greatest fighter of all time, Amanda Nunes." I was like, there's a caveat there. She's not the greatest. George says it was a great retirement because I couldn't wait to see her go. Classic George. Toasty says,
little smiley face in there. It makes it okay because he put a smiley face at the end.
Yeah, Pena's mouth has been open as much as a 7-Eleven these past 2 weeks. It's like, hey, maybe don't pull out of the fight,
dude.
huh?
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like
if you
I'm all
pull
for
out,
a
you don't get to
little.
talk.
I'm all for a little shit talking. You know, it makes it fun. But when you say, "Hey, I must have scared you that bad, you had to retire," and it's like, you pulled out of the fight.
Yeah,
she showed up. She was there.
And let's be real, man. The Nunes that showed up, no version of Pena beats that Nunes.
Dude, who beats that version of Pena?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that version of Nunes. Who beats that version of Nunes? I don't know. But mark my words, by the end of the year, Juliana Pena will retire the champion at 135.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe not retire, but she'll end the year.
Yeah, she'll end the year.
The champion at 135. So, all right, man. Anything else? That was a good main event. Not in the excitement level, but there's a lot to talk about, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we can move on to the people's main event.
Oh, yes. Let's do that, please. Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush.
When they opened it and John Anik's talking about the odds, and they're like, yeah, Oliveira closed at a plus 150. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, I need to figure out how to bet. How do I do it? And then I was like, never mind. I'll just watch the fight. And then I did it. And I should have.
Oh, man. Yeah, the odds on this one didn't really make sense. But George saying, thoughts on Nunes saying every other champ after her will be fake forever. Shaking my head.
That's
lame.
I don't like that.
Lame. I'll agree with you. But, okay, so back to Charles do Bronx. Charles from the Bronx, Oliveira. Man, he showed up a determined do Bronx.
Yeah, dude.
He was more patient on the feet than he normally is. Usually,
dude, that was,
he's willing to swing and bang while he gets himself caught. This is typical Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Swing and bang. Yeah, gets dropped on his back, about to be finished. And then he gets back up. He drops the other. This is what we're seeing from Charles do Bronx, right? But he was more patient on the feet, man. He used his footwork a little bit more. He was patient off his back. Landed some hammer fists off his back, too.
I mean, let's be real. So basically, they go out there. Oliveira tries for a takedown, ends up on his back. He's like, fine, great. This is where I'd rather be. I don't really want to be on top. And in my opinion, was winning off of his back. Dariush was up top, trying to land shots. Charles did such a great job of framing him off and not being able to, he wasn't getting hit very much off his back, but he was landing nice elbows where he'd turn, he's going for like a seatbelt sweep, but then bring the elbow back, clang him on the ear or something. The big hammer fist, like you were talking about, he was winning in my opinion off his back.
Yeah.
And then they get up and he was like, cool. I went to my back without getting dropped. Now I can finally start swinging. He throws a high kick from like 10 feet back that somehow lands. And it was like, oh, and Dariush was back against the fence and was like, oh shit. And then Oliveira, man, when he decides that he wants to finish a fight, it's terrifying. It's terrifying because there's some guys who will get the finish, but then there's some guys who will legitimately just manifest the finish. You know what I mean? Like there's guys who it'll pop up. Oh, I caught him in an exchange. I caught him. He dropped. Get the finish. Oliveira decides when he's going to finish somebody and just cuts through them. It was so impressive. So impressive.
Absolutely, man. I thought it was a fantastic performance from Oliveira. Like I said, he came in looking absolutely determined. You know, Beneil, because he had been doing so good. He had been on a rampage lately.
Yeah,
And
like an 8-fight win streak or something like that.
This to me is an example of why some fighters sometimes say, no, I'm going to wait for the title shot. I've earned it, and I'm going to wait for the title shot. You told me I was supposed to be getting a title shot, so I'm waiting for it. So figure it out, right? This is why some fighters do that. Going in, Dariush is interviewing. He's like, look, man, I'm going to fight as many people as it takes to get to that title. If it's 10 people, it's 10 people. And it's like, well, you're going to face monsters heading up to that belt. One of those monsters is the champion, and that champion has a name.
Yeah.
And his name is Charles the Bronx Oliveira.
Dariush has just fumbled so many times of getting a title shot because the 8-fight win streak, he's fighting killers on it. He's finishing fighters, but then they'll be like, all right, who do you want next? And he's like, Elon Musk. I want my Tesla. I'm still waiting for it. And Dana's like, what the fuck, man?
I wonder if he got his Tesla.
He did. Yeah. He
did. Then it worked.
But I mean, it's like, dude, he could have got a title shot probably if he played his cards differently. It just seemed like he didn't either know how or didn't care to. And I'm kind of fine with that because I don't need all the theatrics, the post-fight theatrics, the call-outs. I don't really need all that stuff.
They push it so hard, though.
Yeah, the UFC rewards it. So you might as well do it. But yeah, so Oliveira, he throws the high kick, hits him, cracks him a couple times with those long punches, chin tucked from now on. And then Dariush is like, oh shit, I need a takedown. And Oliveira's like, you're gonna try to take down me? And then just, dude, man, the hammer fist that he was landing, Dariush went out and he's mummy guarding up and he's looking out the other way. And I was like, dude, stop this fight. He is not coming back from this. And he ate like 3 more hammer fists and it was like, all right.
Can we talk about the beauty though? The setup of those right hands, right?
Yeah.
So what was it? That left kick, right?
And then it was a right kick.
Right kick, but yes, it was right kick. He tries to throw an extended left.
Yeah.
Right? And Dariush up against the fence, backs off, and he still has that left hand cocked back. And so he's like looking at that left. And then he extends with a right hook, which catches him like right above the ear, kind of like over on the head, right? Then another right. Oh, dude, it's just beautiful, man.
And
it was
so Dariush good. Dariush is throwing back, and Oliveira is literally just right on the outside of the punches. He's not leaning back all crazy. He's not trying to duck. He's not blocking them. He's literally just standing there. He's like, I'm in my range. You're not in your range. And he knew it, you know, like his awareness of the distance was so impressive right there. You just, I mean, I cannot believe he was the underdog in this fight. It blows my mind.
Plus 170, I think it was.
I think he closed at 150. But
wow, either
regardless, he lost one fight, man. And it's against the champ. Like, come on.
The disrespect. And also, adding insult to injury, I feel bad for Dariush. You know, he's out, not completely knocked out.
Yeah.
But like he scoots back up against the fence after he gets dropped, and they open the gate. He didn't realize that he scoot. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He scooted back against the gate, and then they opened it, and he's like, whoa. And like,
I hate stuff like
do
that,
one
man.
of these. And they're like, oh, they hold him up, and they're like, hey, dude, like scoot over this way. That was rough. And then
move out of the way, loser. And they walk past him.
They just jump out of the way. Charles the Bronx coming out and saying, English? I don't need translation. Boom, boom, English, boom, boom. You know, what's up, Canada? You know, dude, it was awesome. It was just such a good moment, too. Not the hottest take. Could do without the fake tears. Could do without the fake crying. Let's get that out of here, dude. Come on. Sitting up against the cage, putting his hands up against his face. You see his entire body moving.
Yeah.
And then he gets down. He's like, so about the next fight, you know, like whatever. Like, it's just like, I could do without that. Yeah. Not the hottest take. I know there's a lot of people that love Nunes, a lot of people that love Oliveira. I do too. I just don't love the fake cry.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. From here, not as exciting, right? Seriously, though, the Charles the Bronx fight was the most exciting thing from the UFC card. It felt like the main event for sure. But we had Mike Malott versus Adam Fugitt before that.
Yeah, and this was Blunderbub says UFC bringing out the push broom to sweep the losers out of the cage.
Damn, dude, rough. Dariush is just rolling as they're pushing him over, you know, like, come on.
But yeah,
Come
so
on.
Mike is like their top like Canadian fighter now because he's exciting. He's getting finishes, and they're like, let's put him on the pay-per-view. I guess he's Canadian. It's like this fight should have been on the prelims. Let's be real. But it is what it is. What's funny is the fight opens, and he lands that nice body kick like immediately. Shout out Rich with this picture switch right as I say kick.
Beautiful.
And you can see Fugitt's like, oh, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long night for Fugitt. It's either gonna be a long night for him or it's gonna be quick.
Or quick night.
And then like, they're trading and stuff. It's a decent fight. And then shout out Matt Lindsay. He texted me. He's like, hey man, he said something like,
messaged me too.
He said something like, hey Fugitt's, what's up with Fugitt? He seems like he's got a chance in this one, huh? Not a bad pick. And I was like, I'd be surprised. And literally, like, as I was sending, I'd be surprised. Fucking gets cracked with those punches, drops, and then gets guillotined. It's like,
that's it.
Yeah,
that guillotine looked extremely tight. A props to Team Alpha Male. They kept on giving props to Team Alpha Male. They're like, that's the Alpha Male guillotine. I'm like, yeah. The only notes I really had, Fugitt has nuts of steel. He took a kick right to the cup, man. And that's either the best cup in history or that man has nuts of steel. But he was just like, just keep on fighting. And I was like, man, that's a man's man right there. That's a
man's man. Like,
just keep on going.
Some more time. But yeah, you love a good club and sub, though, You rock somebody, you choke them out. It's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like a double play in baseball, It's just.
Oh, yeah. It's a thing of beauty.
It's a thing of beauty. A bloop and a blast, A little base hit. Next guy comes up, it's a home run. Come on.
I like that, dude.
That's a club
blast. All right. Man, I really don't have anything else on this.
Actually, real quick. This also was the fight during the walkout where the entire railing collapsed and everybody fell into the.
Oh, yeah. Do we have footage of that?
Yeah, we do actually. Let me pull it up.
I heard Anik as they're talking out, and Anik was like, "Looks like some people try to join in on the fun and try to hop in on there." And then somebody was like, and he goes, "Oh, the railing collapsed," and he does a classic Anik laugh, and I'm like, "Bro,
oh my god,
what is going on here?"
What's funny is like they're like screaming. There's like people screaming, like it's chaos over there. And I was watching it on the couch, and I saw everybody fall in right behind him as he's walking out, and I was like, "What the hell just happened?" Like, and then midway through the fight, he's like, Anik's like, "Yeah, for anybody wondering, the people who we had a railing collapse, but everybody is okay, I'm told." It's like, what the fuck happened?
Oh my god,
man.
Dude. Hey, but the second that you saw Malott walking out and people collapsing around him, and he didn't even flinch. I was like, oh, this guy means business.
Look at this.
All right, so there it is.
He's just high-fiving
people
everybody.
falling behind him. People falling behind him, doesn't even care. And also all those people, like, let's not lean on that rail like that. Like, if he gives you a high five, it's not that big of a deal. Look at him. Not a care in the world.
So funny, man.
Oh,
that's hilarious. I've never seen
I'm glad everybody's okay, though. I'm glad everybody's okay.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I saw it once, but it was an entire, like, stand that fell apart in Senegal. It was for, like, I think they call it lamb, the sport of lamb, where it's, like, fighting. And there was a huge crowd, and all of a sudden, just part of the stadium just collapsed. Not the same now that I think about it. So
no,
not the same. Let's move on. All right. So we had Ige versus Landwehr before that. Ige versus Landwehr. I was looking forward to this fight too. Yeah,
me too. This is one of the few fights on this card that I was like, okay, this will probably deliver. It's either I think I told George, I was like, this one's either going to be a banger, back and forth banger, or it's going to be like a levels to this type fight. And it was pretty much a levels to this type fight because Nate Landwehr has been on an absolute tear. He's been rolling through people to train. But Danny Ige is there for a reason. He's ranked. He's been in there with some top tier guys. Shout out What to What from Twitch. But I mean, the combos that Danny Ige was throwing and the stance switching and things like that, you could tell Nate for those first 2 rounds was just like, I don't know what to do here. That Ige when he was orthodox, he'd throw that step in left hook to the body and then left hook up top. And then he would also throw that shifting right hand over the top to switch stances while he's throwing. He dropped him at the end of the first, dropped him at the end of the second with both those combos. I mean, the first 2 rounds, Ige was like, hey, man, this division is a lot different once you get into the rankings compared to right outside the rankings. What did you think?
Yeah, man. And you talked about he was on a tear. And we go back to yes, but against who?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ludovic Klein, David Onama,
Klein's good.
Austin Lingo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and not to knock those guys.
No disrespect.
All those guys will drop me in a second.
Yeah.
But Dan Ige's been up against the who's who.
Yeah, just
in
the
that division.
top of the division. You know?
Top of the division. I want to say he was top 5 himself for quite some time.
So.
You know, he's gone up against Evloev, Josh Emmett. Let's see here. Gavin Tucker, Chen Sung Jung.
Yeah. Ever heard of him? Korean Zon.
Calvin Cater.
Yeah.
Edson Barbosa. Killers. Come on, dude. You know,
yeah.
So it was,
and that
I had Ige all the way going into this.
Yeah, same.
And he had
Nate did a good job.
His dip up with the left. Perfect timing, man. He looked really good last night.
Yeah, and Nate figured out in the 3rd round, like, oh, I need to fight my fight and not try to fight Ige's fight because I'm getting beat up right now. And I thought he took the 3rd round. I'd have to rewatch it. I probably won't, but I thought Nate took the 3rd round because he tried to do his like bullying thing. You know, I'm just gonna walk through everything you're throwing and not care about your stance switching and your combos.
Oh, and it's
like
50K Ige.
Yeah.
You can't walk through some of those shots, man.
No, I mean, he got dropped bad in the 1st round, and then the 2nd round he got dropped again. Yeah, I mean,
dude, he got dropped. He looked out of it, even in the beginning of the 3rd. He looked like he wasn't all there. So just a great performance by Ige. Just reminding everybody that he's still here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right.
Deserves his rank.
You want to move on?
Yeah, I mean, from here on out, it's like.
Okay, tell you what, I'll go ahead and introduce these fights. You tell me what you thought of them. We'll move on because I'm really excited to talk about one as well. Right?
Oh, music to my ears.
What? And to Blunderbubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Marc-Andre
shout out.
Barriault.
Speaking of Blunderbub, do you think the survivors of the railing collapse get recruited for slap fight?
Snaps, dude.
That's their reward. They're like, you know what? We'll get you in there. You'll make $2,000. Get smacked in the face by a trucker on meth.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, but don't worry, you'll get paid. $2K to show, $2K to win.
Yeah.
All right.
It takes is some CTE.
Marc-Andre Barriault versus Eryk Anders. Yeah, boy. Eryk Anders.
This was a fun fight. Marc-Andre Barriault did a fantastic job fighting on the outside. He had a combo that he kept throwing the entire fight, where he'd throw that right body kick to the right hand. You use the right kick. There it is. It's the setup right there. He hurt him a couple times with that. He kept going back to it. Fantastic combo. Eryk Anders did not know what to do with it. And then when he did start dropping his hands to block it in the 3rd round, Barriault started throwing the high kick. It's like, that's how you win fights.
Perfect setup.
Eryk Anders did a great job almost taking every round. He was so close to taking every round. I thought he did a great job fighting inside, where he'd shoot for the takedown, come up, and then just blast knees to the body. I mean, he was throwing knees to the body like, I think he probably threw more knees to the body than he threw any other strike. Marc-Andre Barriault just ate all of them and beat him on the outside, and it was enough to edge out each round pretty much. But it was a fun fight.
Yeah, the nice thing about the Eryk Anders fights, that people are going to be throwing bombs.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed, right?
That's guaranteed.
The last one we're going to cover, Nassourdine. That's it. We're going to cover Nassourdine Imavov versus Chris Curtis.
Yeah, this was a fun fight. Well, this was the other one that was like, oh, this is an interesting fight coming into this. It solidifies, in my opinion, that Chris Curtis should absolutely be fighting at welterweight and not at middleweight. But because, I mean, in the fight, Imavov looked way bigger than him. And that rolling style that Chris Curtis has, it just was not working because Imavov was like pausing in his combos, where he'd throw the jab out and get the roll from Chris Curtis, and he'd wait, and Chris Curtis is like, oh, no, the shot coming? Cool. And as he's coming back, he throws that piston of a left hand. And it was just, everything was working for Imavov. Took his back at the end of the round. grind out the chin a little bit with the choke attempt. And then the second round happens, and another headbutt for Chris Curtis. Again, this man can't catch a break. It was a bad one too.
Rough. And because of this, they stopped the fight to check it out. And I wonder, did you see any of the post-fight interviews? What was said, or?
I didn't, but I did. Chris Curtis, man, tough as nails. He's trying to stay in the fight. He mentions that he can't see it. Herzog's like about to wave the fight off, and Chris Curtis is like, Jason, no, Jason, just give me 1 more minute. Just give me 1 more minute. Jason's like, dude, if you can't see, I have to call. He's like, just 1 more minute. Just let me keep wiping it and stuff. He takes the sleeve of Herzog, and he's like wiping the blood out of his eye with Herzog's sleeve.
Herzog's
he like looks off in the distance. He's like, so great. Brings the doctor in. He mentions for a split second, yeah, I can't see right now. And as he's saying that, Herzog's like, that's a wrap, dude. You can't keep saying that.
Yeah,
we're on camera here.
What am I, an amateur?
Yeah.
I'm Herzog.
But I've never seen somebody just like literally just walk down the ref and be like, no, do not stop this. Like, just give me a minute, and actually getting that minute. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Shout out Herzog.
All right, man. Well, that's it for that one. That's it. That's all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a picture of the doctor looking at the eye, and Chris Curtis being like, "No, I can't see." And then he's like, "Well, let me see it one more time. Cut, man. You check it out." And Chris Curtis is like, "Look, dude, I can't see." And then that's them standing there after Chris Curtis says, "I can't see still."
This picture's hilarious. They're both looking at each other like
in disappointment. Yeah, so in disappointment. All right. So that was all we're going to be covering for UFC 289. It's time, Will.
It's time.
We will now be covering one fight night. Wow. Okay.
Shout out, Rich.
All these kids that are listening to the podcast, apparently. We're transitioning over to one fight night 11.
Whoa, the new studio. Look at that.
Oh, we just switched studios just like that. Just like that. I miss Goldie, dude.
I do too. People say, "Oh, he messed up all the time." Who cares? He was. I maintain he's the best play-by-play guy the UFC ever had.
He messed up all the time. People that just hate life.
Yeah. Who cares if he can't pronounce Joanna Jędrzejczyk? Nobody could at that time.
Nobody could.
You look at those vowels and the consonants. It's like a DRZ, and it's pronounced Yun. Like, what are you talking about?
She probably still mispronounces it.
Yeah, she probably says it differently to everybody she meets.
Goldie, I got your back, Goldie. All right. That being said, let's go over to one fight night 11. We'll start off with the main event, right? Work our way down just like we normally do. Okay.
Yeah, so we're not going to cover every fight, right? We're already 40 minutes into this podcast. So, all right. But we will talk about a handful of them, starting with
Menshikov versus Eersel.
Oh, man. What a walkout, too, by Eersel, right? With the Immortal Mask from 300. Oh, man. It was so good. Sick, dude.
So good. I wish they did that more in all the other organizations.
I know. It was so sick. I was looking forward to Dimitri's super young, but he's very talented. And you could tell, the guy's, just jacked, absolutely jacked. And he's got
a lot of people fighting in one are super jacked, bro.
Hey, man, they all take it very seriously, their job. But Dmitry, he has such that fast twitch style, right? His leg kicks are so fast. He just uncorks something and it's back already. And then and Eersel is like, man, if you haven't watched a lot of his fights, the guy is one of the most intelligent fighters I've ever seen. He's so good at just figuring out how to beat somebody in the fight and just changing his game plan completely. I was really looking forward to that. And I was like, Dmitry can win this. I wouldn't be surprised, but Eersel should win this. And it's probably going to be a decision, and it's going to be something that Dmitry learns a ton from. And instead, Eersel's like, I don't have to wear big gloves anymore. I can just blast people with these small gloves. And one was like, hey, Story of the Fight, you can show fight footage. So we can do that right now.
Ooh. Way to tee it up, by the way.
I'm trying really good. Sometimes.
That was good. By the way, Lumpini, the more that I'm learning about this, I want to go. I want to go.
Oh, man, could you imagine? It'd be so sick,
we should plan something. Yeah,
I'm down, dude. I'm super down.
Meet us there. Anybody else wants to go? Let's roll. Lumpini Stadium.
So here's the setup, right? Here they are. They're trading. Look how fast Menshikov is.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Mixing it up well.
Eersel with the feints. I mean, his distance management is so good. And bam, look at that. And you're like,
now,
what even hit him?
When you go back and look at the way he's trying to stand up, he's so out of it, legs on all wobbly, and Olivier costs, dude, nobody messes with the boss. Yeah. Great stoppage, dude. I don't think I've seen one stoppage from Olivier that I'm like, dude, that was a little off.
Yeah.
You still pin up Herzog over Olivier? It's close, huh?
It's hard with MMA probably. But man, for like Muay Thai and stuff like that, the boss is so good. Like he's just so good. Here's the replay of the finish here.
Look at this. Right?
I mean that left hand just right on the temple. Bam.
But the thing that we don't see this before, because I actually put this in my notes. He goes with the right, feints the left knee, up top with the short left hook right on the forehead, and puts him out. And then look at that little pull up, or what do they call those? A pullover or the zip up that he's wearing afterwards? Yeah, dude's sick.
The confetti everywhere. Come on. It's beautiful.
Next time I see Eersel's name up there, your boy's tuning in. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, man. Go back and watch some of his fights. I mean, he's like...
Nah, I'm good. I'll watch the ones coming up.
I'll watch the live ones.
You know, like, I'll watch the live ones, dude. I'm getting better, though. Like, this time you were texting me, like, hey, these fights are so good. And I was like, yeah, man, Who versus Wu pretty good because I was watching those.
Yeah.
And then I switched over to other stuff. And then I went back and watched them again, though. So it's all good.
Yeah, but
all right.
Blunderbro says, I asked Will if it was going to go past the third, and it's over in 46 seconds. Yeah, he puts it in the chat, and I was like, he could stop him early, but I think he'll probably go to decision, and it's going to be like a big learning moment for Dmitry, all this stuff, and he just fucking bonks him real quick with the left hand.
Like what I'm saying.
Yeah. Menshikov probably should have stayed down. You stay down for a little bit longer. That's the trick that you learn with experience. I mean, he's 25 years old, but that's what you learn with experience is that you don't need to get up right away. You just put your hands on your knees or on the floor for a second. You just chill for a second because you might think I'll just get back up and we'll go back to war.
But your legs are like, nah.
Your legs are like, hey, I'm not ready. We're not connected yet. You got to wait for that to reboot real quick and then you can get up. But you got up way too soon. But yeah. I mean, Eersel, man, double champ, 2 belts, 20. He was carrying 50 pounds on his shoulders when they put both belts on him. They're 26 pounds each.
That's amazing.
So sick.
Heaviest belt in the game, right?
It's gotta be.
All right. Before that, we had Ruotolo versus Langaker. Is that how you pronounce it?
Langaker.
So it's like long, Long, but with an A. Got it. All right.
Yeah, basically.
So Langaker versus Ruotolo. Dude, the more of these matches that I see, these jiu-jitsu fights that I see, it's just like leg lock seminars left.
Yeah, dude, that's the meta right now. That's what everybody's doing. Langaker almost got him
on the heel hook.
Yeah. I can pull it up, but let me see one sec.
Yeah, no, and Ruotolo doing such a good job of rolling out of it, just over and over and over again. But it still looked like that heel hook was super deep, man. I don't know how he got out of it. Look.
Yeah. It's the catch from the ref.
Look at that. Dude, that still looked super deep. And then that's where he's like, all right, let me go ahead and try to take your back from here.
Yeah, watching this one the whole time.
Look at this. He's trying to hook the leg underneath.
Yeah, to take the back.
Right, so that he can take the back from that position. You go from being heel hooked, rolling out of the heel hook to try to take somebody's back. So smooth transitions, man.
Yeah, and Langaker's his guard play was so impressive. Like, see, this one wasn't a catch. But Kade Ruotolo knows how to win these matches. You know why? Because he didn't necessarily have a catch, in my opinion, this whole match. I thought he lost this match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the rules for one championship for the submission grappling, the rules are if it goes to decision, whoever had the most submission attempts wins. It's not about who's on top the whole time, who had more control. It's literally a numbers game. How many catches did you have? Kade Ruotolo, a couple times, I think twice, he had almost a catch, but then he cranks it real big. He exaggerates the crank. He knows he's not going to get it, But I think the judges are like, there's a catch. He almost had a submission, but he didn't.
Genius.
I think the only actual catch of the match was that one we just watched from Langaker, where they roll through it. But I'm not like mad at it or anything. It was a super close match. It was for me. Anytime I watch these submission grappling, I'm on the couch and I'm just like, and then they reset and I'm like, oh, and then I reset. And I'm like, oh,
you're just all tense.
How twisted was I? Like, I'm like all tense, rolling around and shit. It's hard not to, because like
I love
someone gets in a leg lock and I
drop
immediately
in there.
Yeah, I think it's so sick. Some people are like, it kills momentum, and I say, go fuck yourself.
Dang, dude, that's aggressive.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Aggressive. But I love how they drop one in there. Now, if they were to do this for like a 10-fight card and it was just this over
you can't
and over
just
and over
do
again,
this.
Yeah. But I think that the way that they drop it in and the people that they use, because every match that I've seen so far has been exciting. With Ruotolo, Musumeci, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. I think like the way they do it is cool because it's almost like a palate cleanse a little bit, where you're watching Muay Thai and it's so action packed, and then you get a nice submission match where it usually starts slow and then it ramps up, and then by the time it's over, you're like, all right, I'm ready for some more war, and they got some great guys. I mean, this one, Tommy Langaker, when they announced this one, I was like, ooh, this is the toughest test.
I remember you telling me that one. You were like, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, and because they've gotten a lot of like sambo guys to fight their jiu-jitsu guys in these submission grappling, and it's like, well, that's great and all. It's like the jiu-jitsu guys are probably going to win these matches, and they have been. This was the first, like, Tommy's no joke. He's very good. His guard play is insane, but Kade pulled it off, and I like Kade a lot.
Seems like a lot of fun. We can move on to Freymanov versus Shinechagtga. Did I pronounce that one correctly?
You did, yeah. Blunderbub says, I love the submission matches. I want them to find a better way to score them. It is interesting that they do it that way, but I think it incentivizes people to go for submissions and not care about getting swept or things like that, because a lot of the times if it's about passing and top control and things like that, people will just kind of go off control. I don't want to go for this submission because usually a failed submission, you end up on your back. Things like that happen because you have to. It's a sacrifice to go for a submission. That's what makes it so cool. But if you don't get it, usually it ends up badly for you if you don't get a submission. Like we just saw right there, Tommy almost had the leg lock and he didn't get it, and instead Kade almost took his back. So things like that happen. So the rule set of not really caring about sweeps and position and passing and things like that, it allows them to freely go for submissions. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. For sure. They're different weight class, Musumeci and Ruotolo, right?
Musumeci's smaller,
yeah. Because I just keep on thinking, like, who do they continue tossing in here? How many of these grapplers do they continue tossing in there with these different folks? Yeah, so I saw that one. Mighty Mouse is going to be going up against it's Musumeci.
Yeah, that's going to be so sick. It's going to be so
super
sick.
Fights, man. Super fights. Yeah. All right. But Freymanov versus Shinechagtga.
Man, this was a banger. Shinechagtga throws so hard. He throws so hard with every punch he throws. But Freymanov is so talented. And you actually see right here is your boy, Fiziev. He was there. Oh,
Rafael Fiziev?
Yeah.
Rafael Fiziev.
But, I mean, we can just show it. These are some of the highlights from the one YouTube channel. And we'll go. Oh, Blunderbub says, I think that's fine. I wish at the end of the match there was sudden death on the mat or something. That would be cool. That's like
EBI style.
Yeah, where they put
I love
you on
EBI rules
back or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. But here's Shinechagtga throwing bombs, dropping Freymanov in the first round. You just watch
Rafael Fiziev. Yeah, the Home Alone.
Oh, no.
He did the Home Alone.
Yeah. But man,
I think that
so good.
Yeah, Freymanov catching Shinechagtga with the knee. But the thing that I really was impressed by was the timing from Shinechagtga with Freymanov's entries. Once he got that timing down on Freymanov's entry, he was able to land that left straight multiple times. There was one that, especially in the first round, I think it was one of the very first big shots that landed. It might have been Yeah, it was a straight left. And you see Freymanov kind of like do one of these where like he stiffens up a little bit, like wobbles a little bit. And I'm like, oh, dude, he got rocked on that one.
He got cracked.
But great recovery because then he landed that knee on Shinech afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. What was the man? I lost it. But the lead up to the knee from Freymanov to finish the fight was so sick because once he got dropped and they started kind of feeling out each other a little bit more, you could see Freymanov was just like, I got this. I just have to keep doing this, keep going with my game plan because, man, his shots are just so good, his angles, things like that. You could tell he's down there in Thailand constantly training. They did a cool little piece before that showing that he was in the military and stuff.
Fun stuff.
Nice. He joined the military when he was 12. It's like, all right, dude.
Dang, dude. What were you doing when you were 12?
Yeah, not being in the military.
Playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater or something,
Yeah, probably actually. But here's the let's show this really quick.
Okay. So is this when Freymanov catches Shinech with a knee?
I believe so.
Okay, it's got to be. Yep, there it is. Just gets that clinch.
The elbows that he landed on top were so impressive.
Yeah, and I had that on my notes.
I mean, look at those elbows.
Pound that he starts landing.
Oh, my God.
Shinech had no choice but to give up his back, right?
Yeah.
And you could tell that from the elbows, he's a little out of it because the way that Freymanov kind of just slides it underneath right there. See?
Yeah.
The RNC sinking in the rear naked choke seemed easy. The hard work came in landing the knee and landing those elbows from Mount. Jesus, those are monsters.
Monster elbows. And you love a good club and sub.
Club and sub, dude. Absolutely.
Good stuff.
What was the other one? A little bloop and
a blast.
Bloop and a blast. That was a bloop and a
hit
blast,
to a
man.
home run.
There you go. All right. We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Superbon versus Özcan.
Yeah, Tayfun. Oh my God, dude. Superbon. He's so good. He's so good. He's coming off a loss. He lost to Alizov, right? Which was, that was awesome. But you could tell, Tayfun's really good, and you could tell he hits super hard. But it seemed like he never really got to get going because it's so insane to watch someone who can counter so well and at the same time not just counter but also be first in the same fight. That's so insane, dude. Because Superbon, you're on the outside, he's blasting you with leg kicks, he's blasting you with high kicks. As soon as you throw a combo, he slips and he hits you with another one. You catch his kick, he's going to pull it back and kick you with the other leg. Just so incredible that Tayfun just really couldn't get much going. It's so good.
I love seeing more and more of these guys from Thailand, right? These Muay Thai guys that have been throwing kicks since they were in diapers, probably.
Yeah.
Just like when we find out Rodtang's been fighting since a very, very young age. By the way, if you didn't know that, you can find out by our video essay that we did on Story of the Fight. Make sure you go check it out. But you take a look at Superbon and the way that he's able to throw some of these kicks from some of the weirdest angles when he's on his back foot. You got Tayfun, by the way, badass name. Tayfun.
Yeah, sick.
I freaking love it, dude. But you have Tayfun coming in and blitzing, and you have Superbon kind of like evading, moving back. And as he's moving back, he throws up that high left kick. He did that a couple times.
Yeah.
And then that's how he finally caught him. As he's coming in, he's moving back again. Bink! Right on the chin. And he is out. Props to the ref who threw himself on the ground trying to catch the head. Yeah. But it was too late. Tayfun's head bounced.
Yeah, he was out for a while too. I think they pulled the stretcher out for him. But dude, a fadeaway lead high kick knockout is so hard. That is so difficult to pull off. And he made it look so effortless.
That's the thing. Effortless. Looks so balanced the entire way through.
Yeah. And why listen to us say it when we could just watch it again?
Oh my God. I'm so glad we get to put this stuff on here.
Yeah. So Özcan threw a good combo here. It's not like he was overexposed or anything. So he comes in. Here it is. Oh, not yet. Bam, 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 bam.
Oh my
come
God.
on.
Look, that ref is awesome, dude. But he's out. Look at
out.
Oof. Lights shut off. How long was he out, I wonder? Is he okay?
I didn't see him come back. Blunderbub says Mitch and Rich arguing about whether his game is simple or sneaky, but he's both for sure. Yeah. Shout out Rich Franklin. He's pretty good in the booth. I kind of would rather ONE FC to have just 2 people in the booth. I thought it was perfect with Chavello and Mitch. I thought they were perfect together. You don't need 3 because it turns a little too conversational. But that's what they were talking about, right? And you can be both. You can be both. Because the game plan is simple. He's not throwing wheel kicks. He's not unorthodox. His footwork isn't crazy, like weird. He's not jerky or anything weird. But he's very technical and very mechanically sound. But at the same time, he'll throw these things. I mean, that high kick, fade back high kick was so good, so good that it needs to be seen in slow motion.
Oh dang! Let's see it again then. Oh my God.
I mean, come on, dude.
Oh. Wow.
The fade back while under fire is just... And the interview was great. Did you watch his interview?
No.
So good. So
was
good.
It?
Mostly in English. He's yelling stuff. He calls for the rematch. Blunderbub says someone needs to make him some steel jawbone trophies to carry around, though. Yeah, I mean... But so he calls out Alizov. He wants the rematch. Alizov's booked, but because that was crazy. Alizov kind of steamrolled Superbon. So I would like to see the rematch eventually because they're 2 of the best strikers in the world right now. The fact that we can see them fight multiple times is like, give me it. But it was cool seeing he does the interview mostly English, which is crazy. You just don't expect it. And it cuts to Rodtang in the crowd going crazy for him, just like super stoked because they're boys. This was a very good bounce back for Superbon after his loss because he got blitzed by Alizov.
He looked fantastic,
and it shows how good Alizov is. I mean, come on.
All right, man. I think this is the last one we're going to cover, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And it was Belakh versus Ilya.
Yeah. Striker versus grappler. Kwon Ilya.
Classic match.
Kwon Ilya, clearly a striker. Belakh, his name's Artem. You could guess he's going to have some good wrestling, And the first round, it started, and within like 10 seconds, he's like already on the back. And you're like, oh, no. I was kind of hoping to see Kwon Ilya get his hands going. But this might be a quick one. But he did a great job defending. He got to the corner. He looked good doing it. And then he rides out on the ground for the majority of the first round. And then the second round, he was like, those takedowns aren't going to work anymore. You're not as fresh. You're not as explosive. And get ready for these hands.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God. Once he started throwing that, oh my, dude, the liver shots, the body shots to both sides. He was throwing that overhand right. And then the follow-up, because you follow through with the overhand right, you're leaning, and then just comes right back with that left hook to the body. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, the only thing that like watching this one, I honestly enjoyed the Hu versus Wu fight more than I enjoyed this one here. That was a banger. It was a banger. You know me, Will. I love watching punches and bunches.
Yeah.
And both of these guys throughout the entire fight was one and done, a little too much for me. Belakh would come in, throw a shot, and then he's like, it's your turn. And then Kwon would come in and throw a step-in hook to the body. Then he's like, it's your turn. And it was just too much of that the entire fight. And I thought to myself, the first person to start throwing combos is going to win this fight by decision. I didn't think it was going to be finished. Right? Yeah. I thought it was going to go to decision. And sure enough, we have Kwon that starts throwing some combos finally. I'm like, finally.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I've been waiting for it.
Yes. But yeah, just a little too much of the one and done.
You go. Now you go. Now you go. Now you
Yeah.
go. But
No
speaking
me
of
gusta,
that overhand,
which means I don't like it in Spanish.
Yeah. Blunderbub says Kwon got that UFC energy in the interview. Yeah, and here's the overhand right to the left body shot. Bam. I mean, come on, dude. That's a different fight. But I just want to see it again. Bam. Oh my God. He hurt him to the body a couple times in that second round, where Belakh is pretty much all the shots that came from Belakh were because he got hurt to the body in that second round. I mean, look at just his hands looked so good once he started letting them go. Lead him with the head
I like that
bit.
phone booth boxing.
Yeah.
Look, see? Elbow, back up. Jab, back up. Elbow,
Belakh
back
hits
up.
the elbow. Yeah, yeah.
Punch, back up. Look.
Oh,
kick.
there's the body kick. Oh, my God.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like,
And then he
hey,
goes
let's
high
follow
kick.
something up.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't call it bunches, but
hey, it's like 4-punch combo,
see?
man. That's a bunch.
Look. There we go again. See?
He tries the Mike Tyson left hook to the body, left hook up top. But I think mostly it's because Belakh's like, I'm not trying to trade with this dude because I will get KO'd. And then he hits him again.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I just thought about? We didn't do the moment of silence for UFC. You want to cover bonuses for UFC? You want to skip that today?
We can go back to it. I just want to see this finish real quick because it was so sick. Okay. Blunderbub says sympathy liver pain. I mean, he kept going back to that. I almost threw up myself after that shot. The right hand that drops him. And then you're like, oh, man, what are the rule sets in 1FC? Can they do anything cool, like a knee to the head on the ground? Yes, they can. And Herb Dean's like, was that okay? I'm not used to that.
He's about to stop it right now.
Yeah.
There it is.
I mean, that knee right here. Ready? Bam. Like,
yeah, he's like, let me get up. Oh, wait, no, I'll go back down.
The Herb Dean shuffle. Classic.
Yeah. All right.
But it was a great
card. That was it for One Fight Night 11. We already covered UFC 289. I guess we will go through and just cover real quick who earned bonuses from UFC 289. Do they mark down bonuses here for One Fight Night as well?
They should. They hand them out like candy.
They sure do. Let's see here. I'm going to log on and see if they happen to have them listed.
They do. So let's see. Eersel got one. Let's see. Yeah, Eersel got one. Freymanov got one. Superbon got one. And Kwon got one.
Nice. How about in UFC?
UFC, Oliveira got a bonus for steamrolling Dariush as the underdog. Mike Malott got one for the club and sub of Fugitt. Eryk Aldana and Marc-Andre Barriault got fight of the night. Low bar there. And then Eersel got one. Steve, that was a great fight. Dvorak versus Steve Eersel. We didn't cover it, but that was a fun fight. Debut for Steve, Aussie.
Nice. And then, did you want to cover moment of silence at all?
Yeah, the moment of silence was actually better than the card itself that we got. Rich, if you go back one slide, please. True story. Matt Schnell was originally supposed to fight Dvorak. That's a banger. Wonderboy versus Michel Pereira would have been amazing. Dawodu versus Lucas Almeida would have been awesome. Pena versus Nunes would have been. Dawkins versus Roundtree would have also been fun. So,
yes,
literally all fights that kind of suck to lose. Except for the Pena.
All right.
Didn't really need that.
Blunderbub says actually a light bonus night for one compared to what they usually do, I'm guessing, huh?
Yeah, not as many finishes in the one card as normal.
All right. Well, that was fun.
I like going through both, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yes, for anybody joining us for the first time, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, goes a long way. They can also find us online, right, Will?
Yeah, at Story the Fight on every social media platform. If you go to storythefight.com, if you want to listen on Spotify, all that stuff, just look up Story the Fight.
For real, we're trying to reach 3,000 subscribers. So tell your friends, your family, your loved ones, everybody.
Tell your everybody. Next week, we got UFC Vegas 75.
Ooh.
What do we got?
Is this something to look forward to?
We got Marvin Vettori versus Jared Cannonier. Arman Tsarukyan taking a massive step down against Joaquim Silva. I guess they can't find anybody for him to fight. Outside of that, the boy, Muslim Salakov's fighting Nicholas Dalby. I love Salakov.
Nice.
Honey Barcelos versus Miles John's not bad.
No,
it's a tough one, man.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe it surprises us. Who knows?
You never know.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Do you have anything else?
No. Shout out Rich.
No, I want to thank Blunderbub.
Yeah.
Blunderbub. Who else? Regen. What dude? What?
George.
I think is his name on Twitch. Toasty, of course. George for joining us. Toasty mentioned the fact that he misses George's segment. So do we. Let me see. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's all we had.
You were giving Rich a shout out a second ago before I rudely interrupted. What was that for?
Yeah, shout out Rich for producing the show because last week he was in a Street Fighter tournament, so I did the producing while on it, and it's a tough job that he does very well,
or something like that.
Or yeah, like what was it? It was eight out of a
million.
220.
Pretty sure it was $1 million.
Could have been.
Oh, really? Oh, Regen, much love, guys. Great show as always. Appreciate it, Regen.
Shout out, Regen.
Hey, but thanks to everybody for listening another week of Story of the Fight.